Hello. Let's review another character of those 16 that are being explored in socionics. We all know, or we all have met people with great ability to listen and to be supportive to the emotional experiences of the others. Such people also would willingly listen to your story and frequently would give you an advice that satisfies everyone involved in the situation. Through upbringing, probably we all possess these qualities to some extent, but people who in socionics are referred to as ethical, intuitive introverts are naturally born empaths, and in this respect usually stand out among others. They are very attentive to human needs, and this is why they are also known as humanists. Talking about real-life examples of this type among celebrities, we can mention such people as Ralph Fiennes, Richard Gere, and David Lynch. As always, we can never be sure if these types have been determined correctly before we meet these people in person, but there is very little we can do about it. And after all, socionics is not about celebrities. It is about you, it is about me, and people around us. We just use people with celebrity status as examples while learning. I hope they do not mind. Okay, enough for introduction. Here we go. Model A for ethical, intuitive introvert. Channel 1. The basis of our existence. For these people, it means having an attitude. And they do have it. As soon as they meet someone or experience something, they have an attitude towards it. And usually the attitude stays for a long time. For example, if they make friends with somebody, they would remain friends for the rest of their lives. Even if they do not meet that other person that often anymore, the attitude remains. Problem starts if that other person does something that contradicts the moral standards of the humanist. That is because they do not have an attitude just like that. It is based on certain ethical beliefs and values that the humanist has recognized as good. Usually their system of values and beliefs consists of justice, fairness, and overall good. The differences appear in interpretation of these values. Therefore, you can find these people among advocates of capitalism and communism alike. It just depends which system they have recognized as being the best. The same regards to religions and various teachings. In everyday situations, usually they greatly commit themselves to their families and job. They are reliable as business partners, spouses, and friends. Okay, Channel 2. The way of operating in this world, or so-called creative channel. In this case, we should ask what humanists do to achieve the high ethical standards set by Channel 1. The brief answer is they try to establish harmony, namely a psychological harmony with people around them. When communicating, usually they try to adjust themselves and conform with others. After listening to your story or problem, frequently they would come up with some kind of generalization or quote from some guru that supports your feelings. It is as if they are trying to say, don't worry, it is a normal course of things. There are people who have been in similar situations. Everything is going to be all right. They would also willingly offer an advice or solution that satisfies all parties involved. Simply, the potential harmony is ever so self-evident to them. And in many cases they succeed and usually win lots of acquaintances from all their social roles. At the same time, they are very picky regarding to people whom they allow really close. It is because despite their seemingly open and democratic outer shell, there is quite conservative and aristocratic character inside. So far, channel 2. Channel 3, the area of fear and anxiety. As weird as it may sound, having the introverted logic in this channel means fear of explanation and understanding. In practical terms, it means that doing something based on some kind of vague understanding about how the things should be done creates a great deal of uncertainty and anxiety in these people. They have no problem with putting objective and hard facts at the basis of their activities. Actually, this is what they prefer and willingly accept, while interpretation of these facts is unreliable for them and according to them could lead to failure. And indeed, there is very little room for having an attitude, from channel 1, towards something or somebody if it has been fully investigated, interpreted and understood. According to the humanist, it is not acceptable. Surely, they would never admit this if asked directly, but if you watch and listen carefully, you will notice that. For example, ask them to explain some theory to you. Most probably the first couple of sentences will be their understanding of the theory, but the most of the story will be demonstration of their attitude, what they like about it, which part is good in it, and which one could be better. If pushed with more detailed questions, this is when the anxiety appears. If observing these people long enough, you will also notice that they try to avoid conflicts and display of power at all costs. It makes them sick, and that is understandable, as channel 4 always contradicts the channel 2. In this case, power game always contradicts the effort of establishing and maintaining harmony. Every one of us has gone through some upbringing and social adaptation where we learn skills that are not natural to us. So have done the humanists, and at some point they may get aggressive, especially if they have to protect their family and other people close to them. But as soon as there will appear a slightest window of opportunity for a peaceful solution and re-establishment of harmony, they will go for it. However, make no mistake, it doesn't mean that you cannot find this type, for example, among the military. Actually, there are quite a lot of them. If their beliefs and values are in line with the ones of the army, there is no conflict. Channel 5, the area of suggestion. Here the recipe is very simple and very brief. If you need to convince the humanist about something, provide him or her with evidence, numbers, statistics, etc. Give them solid and objective facts. They love if somebody does it for them, as it is a bit of a struggle to support their own thoughts, beliefs and action with these. Channel 6. It shows us what is at the basis of the person's self-esteem. As strange as it may sound for such an idealist, it is his or her own body. Simply put, physical endurance is what makes men of this type feel great about themselves, and being healthy and able to give birth to children is what makes ladies feel proud of themselves. It is not rare when you can see the men of this type running marathon or subjecting themselves to all sorts of other tests of physical endurance. By the way, this is another reason why we can meet these people among the military. Women also may like to test their physical limits, but it is more likely that they will be interested in healthy lifestyle and diets. All in all, whatever is the strategy, the goal remains the same. Keeping their bodies in good shape is a matter of great importance to the humanist. Another side note here is that, of course, this doesn't work 100%. There are cases when people of this type try to ignore their bodies, but given the limits of this video, I will leave the explanation of this for another time. So, and lastly, channels 7 and 8 that usually are ignored by the person while actually they provide great support to the leading functions in the channels 1 and 2. The main concern of the humanist is what they think about others. What is their attitude? But you cannot go very far with that if you sometimes do not cross-check that with what others think and what are the attitudes of other people. That helps fine-tuning the beliefs as well as puts some limits on going too far into one or another direction. The same regards channel 8. Above all, the humanist is interested in solutions for building psychological harmony around him, and funny enough, he or she has very little interest for anybody else's ideals, different intimate moods, and subtle psychological internal contradictions. But sometimes you simply have to take that into account while building the great harmony. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.